So
That's fine. Yeah. I'll just sit here.
we've been waiting a long time for this ever since we came back to do Essential because
What,
you
the
know
baklava?
what?
You've been waiting a long time for the baklava.
Yeah, I have.
I moved there between us.
No, you're fine. But like, so we're gonna focus this episode on Jessica Jones, yeah, and
Jessica.
Jessica, and we got a lot to talk about. And as you notice, that Midnight is not with us today because we buried him under the house.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
It's now with Ian Salmon and the floorboards.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think Ian would like Jessica Jones when it goes out.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
once he watches it, he'll be it. Midha has no. It just makes no sense, his criticisms on anything that he put on there.
Well, we're gonna talk about
Midhigh.
Midhig's criticisms, just so that way he feels properly represented. But before we do, we felt that we could talk about Doctor Who because that was a big event this week. Where spoilers, by the way, but you shouldn't be here if you're not watching things ahead of time. And also too is we're also doing a special episode because there's no DC this week because Flarero's coming up. There's a skip week.
The skip week. But we can still talk about that. Super.
So Doctor Who, everybody's been waiting. Who's on the Clara Claren bandwagon?
I mean, I like her. I
Your
like her. I think she's a great character, but I just think that her death was coming. Her death was coming all the way through it, and I just don't know how many times they can kind of like reinvent her origin.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I don't think how many times can she die.
Yeah,
or
well, this
come close
is
to
it.
death?
But she was the girl who never dies, wasn't she? When
Well, she was
first
the Impossible
introduced?
Girl.
She's the Impossible Girl. And I like Clara and all this stuff. I like her character and stuff like that. But I think it's time for a non-human companion. Someone who doesn't have to come back to Earth all the time to kind of like see stuff. I'd like to see kind of.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a variety there in who the Doctor has as companions. Otherwise, it becomes monotonous and the same thing.
Well, it is monotonous. I mean, they tried to split it up with Amy and Rory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the first couple of episodes of that was just Amy, and then the Amy-Rory thing, it was a love triangle. That was dull.
Yeah. No.
And they also was able to show us that there's the bedroom in the TARDIS.
Yeah.
We knew that anyway.
Yeah.
Because in the classic series, Romana's bedroom was. Sorry,
Yeah. We're not in the classic series. We're kind of we'll venture to the classic series in a bit.
But either way, is that it's been a long time coming for Clara's swan song. So Fear the Raven is the end of Clara, or is it?
No, it's going to have some point in the 11th or 12th episode. She's going to come back, and I think what happened at the end of it, that room, the kind of like the area that he's in, could that be the Shadow Cottage? Is it
No,
the
Shadow
the Shadow Library? Because the original, going to your theory on the Valyard thing, they kind of like stick the Valyard in the Shadow area where he.
There's a place in
like
the
a
Matrix
punishment.
within. It's like kind of like you say, like
the Phantom Zone, but for Doctor Who.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And there was there's two links to Valyard in the episode. There was a blink if you missed the scene where it was clearly the Valyard was in it. Michael Jason, and also Clara said to the Doctor, "Don't give in to your dark side. Don't become angry," because she knows presumably if she's met all the Doctors, and the Great Intelligence mentioned
Great
it as well.
Intelligence, yeah.
But it's important to point out that the Valyard is not like an evil incarnation of the Doctor. He's like an offspring of all the bad that's in him, or the negative thoughts or whatever. The Doctor's body rejects that, and it becomes its own, like the symbiote kind of thing in Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think you're.
It sounds like the Onslaught in X-Men.
Yeah, I think you're Superman 3 kind of like. I mean, take away everything about that movie apart from the evil Superman kind of like thing. The flicking peanuts at glasses sort of stuff.
Straightening the leaning tower.
The really, not the Doctor's going to do that. I mean, I would like to see a moment where he's going through time and he's just kind of like going sort of like just going along and maybe pushing people down hills and stuff like that, just messing up.
Or inside the Dalek or something.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about it is that the Master, or Missy, would in effect become good to defeat him, if you know what I mean, because the Master could not stand the competition if the Doctor became evil, because he'd just be omnipotent if that was the case. You can see the rage there in Capaldi's building up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought it was powerful. I mean, like let's talk about that whole death scene, because I related it to when she went out to face the Raven. It was kind of like the gunslinger or the sheriff going out on the, that western town for the final show, high noon,
Yeah.
high noon for that final showdown, and and she was waiting for it. She was accepting of it, and she like prayed for the strength, and the doctor came out, and like I thought that was really great about this was first of all, Rixie I thought was great. I mean, I thought when they were going through the little alleyway refugee camp. I thought that's what I do miss the whole 2-3 companion scenario. I thought he was a perfect, like companion in this episode, and but then like she was just one reckless move too many, and she made a lot of these reckless moves.
But all the way through the series, and even like at the beginning,
it
of
wasn't
the
like
episode,
something that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, even at the beginning of the episode where she was
hanging out
where she was dangling out the TARDIS, you kind of like went, well. She's dead at the end of this.
Yeah. And Matt Smith did that too, so she watched him do it. So it wasn't like just something like it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think was really great about it. It was all set up, and it was set up over time and everything. And
space.
One thing, one thing. I mean, I wanted to dispute before we move on is Ian felt, our good friend Ian Simon felt that they didn't explain the whole Deathlock. And how come Mayor Ashilda couldn't take it off of her? And I thought that they did. So what they explained was when the wife tried to tell the husband, give it to me, and he said, I'm not going to give it to you, right? I'm not going to give you my death sentence and everything like that. She was going to take it so that way she would die, right? Yeah. Simple. Yeah. So then when Clara asked the guy, well, wait, what did she want? And the guy said, yeah, well, you could take the death sentence. Yeah. But Death will still find a way.
But I took away from it because she does say when she put that tattoo on him, she signed a contract with the shadow thing, whatever it was, and the contract was between her for his soul at the end of it. Once that tattoo changes, the terms of the contract change. Yeah. So, and there was nothing ever bargained. It was just
exactly.
Like, well,
so it's like, why do you have it?
Yeah.
And everything like that. So Ian felt that it didn't make sense, and I thought it made perfect sense.
I thought it made quite a lot of sense.
Yeah, me too.
But,
so we'll boo, Ian, boo. You just weren't watching.
I think if you can pick the bones apart of anything, I think when you do it with Doctor Who, they are clever, the people who write it. They know what
they are.
No, but he felt it should have been another line in there and everything like that. I'm like, that's the thing about Doctor Who. They don't treat you like an idiot. You're supposed to go back and watch it again. You're supposed to go back.
It assumes you've got a level of intelligence when you watch it.
Exactly.
Or you can watch it without that as well.
Yeah. I will say, standout line for this series came from the Doctor though at this one when Clara had died and
he said there's no place in the universe.
You just be thankful she told me not to do it because there wouldn't be a place in the universe. And that was kind of like that gave me tingles. That was kind of like he wouldn't set the world on fire. He'd creatively find a way just to.
Know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Christopher Eccleston, right, when he burned those aliens in that, and I forgot, in one of his early episodes, where you actually saw the anger of the Doctor. Yeah. And David Tennant even did it too.
I think every single Doctor has a moment. I mean, the Christopher Eccleston one, I think still my favourite bit on that is the final episode where he's talking to the Dalek Emperor and he's kind of like going, I'm going to come over there, I'm going to save Rose, I'm going to stop you, and do you know what the funny thing is? I don't know how I'm going to do it, and that's what scares you. And I think every Doctor, when the writers are in the right zone, they get the best lines coming.
Going back to the classic just for 1 second, there's a scene in a story called Remembrance of the Daleks where Sylvester McCoy threatens, this is what, if you cross that line, you've got to deal with me, and Davros says, why should I fear you? You're just another Time Lord. And the Doctor says for the first time, no, Davros, I'm far more than just another Time Lord. Yeah. And Davros is like thinking, maybe he is, you know what I mean? Yeah. But the Doctor Who, it's a question, isn't it? People don't, we still don't know who he is.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
And we don't need to know.
But
no, exactly.
But that's why it works so well, because you never know. So it gives the writers a little bit more freedom. They have a template that they can use, but they can deviate from quite a bit. I'd expect that the Doctor Who Bible that writers kind of like go through is probably bigger than the height of this room. It's kind of like bringing into it. But just sort of like overall, really enjoyed the episode. Yeah. Going to look forward to next week, and I'm not going to be surprised when Clara comes back. And I reckon Missy.
You think what's the name? Dalton's going to come back to? Timothy Dalton?
As Barusa.
He's
Rassilon, isn't it? Possibly, yeah.
Well, if the Time Lords are involved and they've sent them,
Well, yeah,
they
they said the Time Lords. I mean, going back to Gallifrey, but I mean, do you think? I mean, Timothy Dalton's still viable to like appear in,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything
I
like
mean,
that.
yeah,
And then, do we think we're gonna get the Shy Mom or
the
the weeping mother?
I think that is just a story device that was used.
Yeah, but that's
gone.
what's great
It's
is
just
that
like,
Muppet always goes back to mining his own material. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's just kind of like
yeah, you are right. It does it on Sherlock as
Don't
well.
forget when Matt Smith didn't technically regenerate into Peter Capaldi. The regeneration was in progress, and he became Peter Capaldi. Presumably, if the Valiant thing is true, Rassilon's involved with the creation of him somewhere, because it's the Time Lords that sent them the energy to become. You know, it's kind of like a possession. He's took over the Doctor. If that makes sense.
It might be quite interesting if it. I mean, the Valiant, the origin of the Valiant was one of the Doctors. I'm not going to say the number of it because that's going to be rewritten. But one of those Doctors was experimenting with extending the number of regenerations that they came through. Now it could be quite interesting where at the end of this series, where instead of the Doctor. You know, the Doctor starts experimenting with regeneration in the hopes of bringing Clara back, or trying to find some way of kind of like keeping a companion going. So instead of making it a selfish reason, he's doing it for good reasons, and then it goes wrong. And maybe I think what would be better is a entire series of little homages where they have a guy who just keeps appearing just to kind of like pass a note. Bit similar to when the Master first came into it, you know, when he came back, and all the way through that series, you had people.
Saxon,
Saxon. You had all these people all the way through the series, kind of like going to people, go, talk to John Saxon, something like that for a finale for next season as the Valiant might be better rather than kind of like rushing an explanation.
Well, we are also too. It's already been confirmed that there is going to be a season 10 as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, the BBC aren't going to be that stupid to get rid of it.
No.
But. A really good episode. Looking forward to next week.
Exactly. I mean, we also, did that. Give you time to wrestle with the idea about how many of these Jessica Jones you have seen. And I'm sorry, but this is a full-on spoiler review. And I'll tell you, first reason why is going to be my first point. Jessica Jones, first of all, let me help you out, because I've been looking all over the internet and looking at people's reviews, and nobody seems to get it completely right. Where, first of all, let's talk about who Jessica Jones is. So, Jessica Jones as a character, right, was in the Alias comics, which was a Max comic, which was adult content oriented and everything. And we come into her already fully formed as a private eye. And she's spying not only on regular people, but she's spying on superheroes.
Yeah.
Now,
when did you get the inkling she was spying on other superheroes?
When she's like taking pictures of Captain America having that little tryst. Did you remember that one?
No, I didn't see those photos. I didn't see that photo.
Yeah. Not in the TV show.
In the comics. All right, in comics.
Sorry. And I said, let me tell you who Jessica Jones is, right? From the comic version. So anyway, Captain America was getting busy. But so what it was so at the heart of it, she was given powers in a car crash, spilled radioactive chemicals and all that kind of stuff. Her family died and everything like that, and she got superpowers, super strength. There was supposed to be some element of invulnerability. She could fly, she could do all of this kind of stuff. She became the heroine Jewel. And what happened was that she got the notice of the Avengers, right? Because she was a geek. She was also in love with Peter Parker.
Love with Peter Parker. She was high school with him.
So what happened was, she goes into a restaurant. And, she's breaking up a fight, and the Purple Man sees her. Kilgrave sees her and instantly takes control of her. Now, what happened was that he then mentally raped her for months.
He did more than that in the car.
Yeah. Well, they did in the show, but I mean, let's just get back to in the comic. Mentally, let's just say he totally bamboozled this girl. Now, it wasn't, when she came out of that, it wasn't the fact that he raped her was the issue. The real issue was that nobody cared that she was gone. So the way she came out was he sent her to to attack. She sent her to attack the Avengers.
It was one particular person at the Avengers, but she got.
It
confused.
wasn't Scarlet Witch because
Scarlet Witch is the one that knocked her out.
Yeah.
But she got confused. They sent her to the Avengers.
Oh, Daredevil. Yeah, she sent her to go take out Daredevil. He sent her to go take out Daredevil because that's his enemy. But she goes to Avengers.
And Scarlet Witch gets involved, and that Scarlet Witch gives her the kapow.
Yeah, and that's how she gets her mind back.
And then Jean Grey kind of like puts the psychic locks in place to kind of like get
right.
her. So,
and that's when she goes under the wing of Carol Danvers. Now, what happened was but at the back of her mind was, you guys know me. I've been missing for like 6 months, and how come nobody came looking for me?
Yeah.
You know, so she's like, F you superheroes, F you all, and then she decided to become a private eye. Yeah. Now, that's the backstory of Jessica Jones. So this show, this fantastic show, these 13 episodes is pretty much the origin of Jessica Jones to the point that we see her in the Alias comics.
Right.
But without, I mean, the trauma is more directly related to a Kilgrave than.
Well, because because in the show they didn't pull any punches. This is a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Kilgrave raped her. He raped her multiple
No, this is
times.
what I'm saying. In the TV series, it's a lot more focused on the damage that Kilgrave did
Oh,
to
yeah,
her
yeah.
than in the comics where it was the I've got no friends kind of thing.
No.
In this one, they kind of made an effort to show that even when she was under his control, she still had that friendship with Trish.
But don't jump ahead. We're going to get to that. Yes, right. So what I'm trying to say is, in the show, right, first they had to make some changes because initially when they first came up with the show, they were going to have Carol Danvers in the show because they already had Captain Marvel on the slate and everything else like that. Then they got the no order, like, no, you can't have Carol Danvers now, and so then they pulled in Patsy Walker. And so they, kind of fudged.
Which they
did a great job.
I thought she was amazing.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down each of the characters, and then we can really go into all of that. But I just wanted to let everybody know where we are.
I've got to be at Boots to pick my mum's prescription up, if you don't mind. Sorry.
Go ahead, Jamie, because Jamie doesn't know anything anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. Yeah, I'm
Watch it for next week.
Yeah, I'll get the I'll get you a bottle of wine and all for next week.
Yeah, sounds very good now.
All right. Hey, all right. So. All right, so anyway, so where we are is that, like, when this show begins, right, is that Jessica Jones is not Jessica Jones in Alias, even though first thing she does is breaks her, detector sign and stuff like that. They decided to really amp up this thing with her relationship with Luke Cage, right, because that did happen in the first issue of the comic, but then it didn't fully develop until like sometime later. Yeah.
But no, they had a one night stand.
Yeah.
They had a one night stand in the comics, didn't they? But it was never kind of like
it wasn't like a love thing and all that.
And then she was pregnant from that one night stand, and that's when kind of like Luke did the. Got to do the right thing.
Yeah, got to do the right thing. Got to do the right thing, man. You know what I'm saying? I imagine break the egg. It's all good. So, what I wanted to talk about first was, which I haven't heard on the boards, is that relationship of Luke Cage and just Luke Cage in general in this series, which I think was phenomenal. As you know, Midhad joins us usually, and one of the things that hopefully infuriated both of us is how I said, what about like her and Luke Cage? And he said, that's predictable.
I mean, yeah, but it is. To be fair, it is a little bit predictable. But I don't think I don't think predictable is. It is predictable.
In what way? No.
But you knew from the very beginning that as soon as she had the flashback and you found out that the woman that she killed was Luke Cage's wife, it was predictable that Luke Cage would find out in some way and then disappear. That's
not what happened in the show, though.
Yeah, it is. He found out. There was the episode when he went looking for this woman's son. Mm-hmm. And they went to find the son, found him, came back. He got loads of evidence that said that it was the bus driver who was drunk that killed his wife. Mm-hmm. And he went to kill the bus driver, and that's when Jessica Jones went, no, it was me. You can't do it. There was a little bit of a smack.
You calling that predictable?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you knew that he was going to go away for it. You also knew he was going to come back, but Well, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think still think it's a good storyline to kind of like build on.
Okay.
But I don't think it's a negative comment to say that it was.
Yeah,
kinda
well,
like,
no, I think it is in a sense where predictability. First of all, as a superhero, if this was on television, it wouldn't have played like that, because there's that whole thing about superheroes never kill, right? Jessica killed an innocent woman, right? Whether or not we'll find out in Luke Cage, I think we'll find out that Reva probably wasn't so innocent, but she killed an innocent woman. And she's carrying, that is her major burden.
Yeah, that's her.
She's carrying a major
and
burden
up until the
around
very
that.
last episode, that was her burden all the way through until Luke kind of did forgive her for that.
Right, exactly. But did he really?
Well, I mean, he was under Kilgrave's.
See, this is what's so freaking phenomenal about this show. Because they played it so well. This is why I don't know why nobody's talking about it. Did he really? When Luke left her, he called her a piece of shit. He's like, I can't believe you slept with me. I can't believe you knew what you did to me and all the stuff that you've done. And he took off, so he didn't have to, take her out. Then when he came back, because Kilgrave found him.
Yeah.
Pretty much that's what it was.
Well, it was Luke Cage that found him.
No.
Yeah, because it was after they were in the restaurant and Kilgrave had told them all to lose themselves. Well, he escaped out the back of his dad. Luke Cage saw them, came over, and went, Kilgrave, and then Kilgrave went, stop.
Oh, right, yeah.
So
no, I
Luke
mean,
found
before Jessica saw him burn them, blow up the bar. Yeah, you're right. All right, so what happens is that blowing up the bar, walking out as a man on fire. That was just so awesome.
That was brilliant.
You know what I mean? That was just so awesome. And then, so she knows this timeline, right? Which Kilgrave's managed to advance and everything like that. So, he's like, yeah, okay, I'll help you, I'll forgive you and all that. And Kilgrave's like, all those are my lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I did not see that coming. That's why I say when you use the word predictable, I'm like, what are you freaking talking about?
No, but
did not see that coming.
That bit, it wasn't predictable. But
then you don't call it predictable at all when you just write down random comments about, I hate this characterization on this thing.
But what I think Midhat was referring to was the whole fact that it was predictable that Luke Cage was going to find out that Jessica Jones had... Well, of course he was going to find out.
Of course.
It's sort of like that you can't have said that at
that
point when you saw the photo.
Of course, but don't call it predictable is all I'm saying is because she still, as a superhero, she still did a lot of bad things. That's not the only life she caused.
But we're not saying all the story plots are predictable. We're not saying all the story threads are predictable.
Right,
just this one little thing where you kind of saw that it was... I mean, you go through it, there's a lot of unpredictability. Yeah. Did you see? I didn't see at the beginning of the first episode, that Hope was going to shoot her parents.
No,
did not expect that in any way.
No, totally not.
I mean, I always knew that Night Nurse was going to come.
It came in way late. I mean, we'll get to Night Nurse. Came in way late, but I mean, so just to finish off the Luke Cage thing is that I mean, I love their Marvel team up. They had a Marvel team up in there before he found out about her. I loved the sex scenes and everything like that. I loved also that little moment at the restaurant where they were like, so, are we the only two?
Yeah.
And, it's like, no, there are others. So, like the big green guy and the flag waver.
Flag waver, yeah.
So what I was trying to point out about her disdain for the Avengers is that because we have the Marvel movies, right, she's never had that moment where she could have actually been a part of the Avengers. But, for some reason, there is this kind of like, forget them. They're like thinking their guys up
but
there.
I don't think that her disliking of the Avengers stems from that.
Flag waver.
Yeah. I don't think that's a... I mean, all the way through it, Jessica, this series, she's been a very negative down person because she's had all that crap happen to her. And in the origin, the episode 7, I think it is, when they tell her origin, there's that scene where Trish puts together an outfit and tells her, why don't you go out and
oh my god,
why don't you go out and rescue, be a hero and stuff, and she gives her the costume. And then at that moment she goes out, she has that night and sees that person getting beaten up and saves him, and then immediately after that first intervention, second intervention, she saved the girl in the
hot dog
outfit. But the second intervention of her trying to be a hero, Kilgrave finds her, stops her, and does his shtick on her.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that would leave you kind of like, the one time I've tried to be a hero, and I've been immediately raped, I've been mentally abused, I have been forced to do something against it. Whereas these guys over here, they stepped into the light. Nothing bad's happened to them.
No.
I mean, just from the outset, obviously we all know Tony. Lots of bad stuff
Yeah,
has happened to
yeah.
them. But from her perspective, it's like these people here, they've had so much good stuff happen to them. Me, I've had to suffer for my powers. So I don't think the hatred is because of them being heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just because her opportunities in life were different.
No, you're right.
But I mean, it's yeah. I think the way Kristen Ritter kind of like just portrayed her all the way through it, I loved her character. I thought
she was very consistent.
hard drinking. You know,
She pooed on the toilet.
Yeah, she pooed on the toilet. Yeah. We'll go into that
I'm
comment.
not
in a
even
minute.
going into Mihal's comment. I just meant about that she was sitting on the toilet, but not at that point.
Yeah, and everything. It was just felt really kind of like good. I like the whole fact, the first episode where she gets the guy who's trying to run away from the summons, and he goes, if you run away, I'll fire with my heat vision, and then she just rolls on with laser vision. But I really liked that part of it. Was really good for us, and I liked the origin story of her. I thought.
I just thought the origin story wasn't completed.
They never really
completed because of the IGH program that they brought
but
up.
I think
that they're leaving it for a second season.
I think that's the second storyline that's going to be covered because obviously Nuke's going to come back.
Yeah,
which was a really good surprise. Quickly talk about David Tennant because. I mean, I'm a big David Tennant fan. I mean,
I'm a Tennant fan.
Yeah, I mean, apart from when he was in Balamory, when ages ago, but great Doctor Who, and the stuff that he's done ever since then has been really good. But this performance was just. It was like he was playing this innocence of a child who had no idea about what he was doing was wrong.
Yeah.
And there's that moment in the episode where what would Jessica do, where he comes back and he's kind of like going, do you know how difficult it is for me? There was this moment where
I don't know how to be a good guy.
There was this moment where you kind of felt really sympathetic to him.
You're talking about after they saved the
after just before it, when he's saying to her, I have to think about every single word I say before I say it. It does make you sympathise with them a bit, and then it's immediately kind of juxtaposed when they leave. It's go. If we're not back in 2 hours, slice each other's faces off.
Nobody reminds me of. Remember that Star Trek, the original series episode with that guy Archon or whatever. They were on a planet where the guy was actually a kid.
Yeah, he's making them all.
So what they showed us is that pretty much his growth was stunted, because like he was a mutant.
Yeah.
His parents who did these experiments on him.
Well, he wasn't a mutant.
I think he is.
No. They explained he had a neurological disease.
Same thing.
But it's not.
He was born with the neurological disease.
He was born with a neurological
disease.
It's not a power.
Oh well, they have awakened his power by the experiment.
No, I mean I'm going to say he's not a mutant.
I'm just saying because it's Marvel.
I think they gave him the immune.
You don't give people powers.
The antiviral stuff that they were testing.
Yeah.
All
right. So anyway, my point is that he was a kid when that happened. His parents did that to him. And then from there, he became like a god. He became like this Archon guy. So there was no growth. So if you notice his subtleties in his performance, he is just a child. I want.
Yeah.
I want whatever I want. Give it to me. Food. He wasn't into like when he got $1 million. He didn't want it. He just used it to buy the house.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't live for day to day. He just lives for the moments. And that's excellent performance because it's like he's like Jessica, really it's like he just wants a friend.
He really thinks that he is in love with her. He really does think it, but it's not that. Once you find out that the reason why is because it's the first person who managed to fight back against him.
Yeah, because he could control everyone else.
Could control everyone else, but Jessica broke his control. Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of like. So he thought it was love. He thought this fixation on her. He thought it was love. It wasn't. It was just because there was this one person who he couldn't control, and he wanted to.
And what he doesn't recognize is that it's in that moment when she kills Reva. It's in that moment that like he makes someone do something they never would have done.
Yeah.
That's what broke her spell. Was that because she did something she never would have done. Then she wrestled with that, and so she was walking away in that fog of wrestling, and he's like can't control it. He's like, whoa, hold on for a second, and then he gets hit by the bus.
Yeah.
So then he's like, holy shit, this is the one.
Yeah.
So it's all about that. But I love that when he was saying, "Help me be a hero," and that became another Marvel team up. That was like another like Marvel team up issue, you know, like Jessica and Kilgrave. I thought that was really excellent.
What I loved about that, I did not see the twist at the end. I did not. I honestly, when she sat down and gave him Chinese, when they started eating the Chinese food, I honestly just did not expect where it was going. I thought there was going to be an episode where she does try and like
And then
make
she said,
him
"This
a
is
good
what Jessica
person.
would do." Yeah.
And then it kind of like no, it was sort of like straight in there. And that padded cell thing was a genius. The water kind of like going as a special certain type of person who would think that, and obviously we know.
Oh yeah,
that the type of
because it's
person
the
is-
IGH
because
program and
it's
stuff
new.
like that. But like the thing about it is that was excellent. And so let's get into the whole like Trish scenario, because you know, kind of like creating this character from the bottom up. I thought what was really amazing about this is that this really took some thinking. And it was well better that they had to choose Hellcat as opposed to Carol Danvers, because Carol Danvers' story is nowhere near as rich as Hellcat's. You know, because most people would recognize that this was like the Gone Girl. You know, remember like Gone Girl, where like her mom was like, you know, used to like write, you know, these comics about her, these books about her. She's famous. And then they were able to use the actual Patsy Walker comics, the cartoons. But did you know that her mother was played by Rebecca De Mornay?
I did notice that.
And so, I mean, I didn't notice it until somebody had to point it out. I was like, oh my God, risky business. Right? But,
and Rock the Cradle.
that too. But like the thing about it was that like it was great because there was abuse going on before Jessica got involved with Kilgrave. You know, and
the abuse wasn't done to her. She was never.
No, because she already showed Patsy's mom that don't mess with me.
Yeah,
she already told don't mess with me. Don't even mess with her anymore. You know what I mean? But like what I was gonna say is that what is amazing about the character is that in the comics, right? So let's go back to the comics with Patsy Walker. Patsy Walker was a 50s comic book character, and in the 70s, what they tried to do was retcon her, and they put her into the Brand Corporation with the Beast. So when the X-Men series was canceled and stuff, the Beast, as Hank McCoy, ended up working for the Brand Corporation, where Trish and Biff. I'm surprised they didn't give us a Biff, man. I was really disappointed they didn't give us a Biff, at least in the past kind of thing. But well, they were working for that organization, and then he